pickleball. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back to yet another episode of Sometimes the Old Man is Right. As usual, I am your host, Lamont Ferguson, playing the role of the old man. The old man that is currently dropping 3 episodes in a month, which I believe eclipses last year's total. We've set a record. Oh, please. Today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of a podcast. This is episode 43, number 43 in the sequence of episodes. I don't know any number that goes with 43 that has any significance. 42, remember last month or last week or 2 weeks ago, I can't even get my date straight. 2 weeks ago was Jackie Robinson. 43, I got nothing. I don't know of a single significant 43 that I can think of. So it's just going to belong to this podcast episode, number 43. How you been? How you doing? What's the good word? I'm all right. Thanks for asking. I'm still on the road to recovery with this knee and this nonsense of aging, the frailty of the human body. Not a great design. Really isn't. I'm gonna have to mark God down a couple of points for the human body design. Although it could be that the human body was designed absolutely perfectly and we have just screwed it up. That could be it. This could not be a maker error. It could be a user error. You know what? Now that I think about it, I think it's all user error. I think the diet is bad. I think the what you do, the maintenance of it is bad. This is all on me. I tried to shove it off on somebody else, but no, I think it is. It's all on us because of the fact that we eat poorly, and especially here in America, we eat poorly. We're all overweight, and we're just banging on these joints that weren't made for the frame. So, yeah, my bad. That's on me. It's what it is. But I've returned to pickleball. Good grief. This has been the most frustrating time I've had in pickleball, is trying to come back from an injury while still being injured, and trying to do what I used to do when I wasn't as injured. And good grief, there have been times where I thought, what am I doing? Why am I out here? You know that feeling? This is for people that at one point in their lives were athletes. I wanted to write maybe a story or something about this at some point, about how the mental aspect from being picked, like when you're a kid, like, hey, we're going to split up into teams and we're going to take this guy. Okay, you take that guy, get captains, this guy, we're going to take that guy, this guy, that guy. I remember the moment in basketball when I went from being in, let's say, a top 4 pick to being the next to last guy or the last guy. And it's humiliating. It takes a lot to get through. And especially coming from where I was so athletic and such a good all-around sport in a lot of different sports. Baseball, I'm going to be in the top 4 pick. Basketball, I'm going to be in the top 4 pick. Football, I'm going to be in the top 4 pick. And then just being a guy where there's like, okay, we'll take Lamont. There were times where when they started picking out teams, I would just leave the gym for just a moment. I go, oh, I'm going to the bathroom, because I knew it was an even number, so I was going to get on a team. But when I showed back up, I just go, okay, what team am I on? Just to avoid that, oh, we'll take Lamont, or you got him and we got him and you've got Lamont. Oh, it's the ego bruising it would take to go from top pick to will take pick. It still stings. I'll be honest with you. It still stings. Oh, and that's what I feel like now at pickleball. I feel like, oh, okay, we'll play with Lamont because Lamont's here. That's what I felt like up until, yeah, today. Yeah, up until today. Yesterday it rained, so I only got a couple of games in. But today the play was a little better by myself. Uh, by me is what it is. Not that I played by myself, but a little better by me. Still a lot of dumb mistakes, but more positive than negative. So when I left the court, I felt like, okay, you actually did something out here and you weren't a charity case. And I know people have talked about this before. Like pickleball starts out as being just a fun little sport for older people. And oh, there's so much laughing and there's so much, oh, this is so fun. But the better you get at it and the more levels you go up, it ain't that much fun. It really isn't that much fun. There still might be some laughing out there, but nowhere near. There is nowhere near the amount of laughing at, let's say, 375 and up as there is at 3.5 and below. Those are the rating levels of pickleball players. So much laughing at 3.5 and below. So much cursing and anger and silence at 3.75 and up. Oh, it is so frustrating. And you want to do it. You want to get better. It's something in you. You know, you found an outlet where you could be athletic again and competitive again so that those competitive juices start flowing and then the fun goes away. So that's where I sit. Saturday upcoming, Saturday's my day off, so I'll just sit and be reflective on Saturday. All right, folks. The people that have downloaded the podcast, again, a shout out to you guys. I thank you again, my faithful 9 listeners. I'm doing it for 9 people, and I will continue to do it for 9 people in the hope that might be 11 people. Someday we'll get to 11. But right now, faithful 9. We'll see who, I don't know, and maybe I lost some people from last week because I got fired up and I talked about, the dude being trash, which I still stand by. So let's get on with it, shall we? Sometimes the old man is wrong. There, I said it. Sometimes the old man is wrong. Last episode, I was busy trying to give James David Vance, J.D. Vance, Vice President of the United States, the benefit of the doubt that somewhere inside of him, he was a decent human being if he could get away from this nonsense. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I saw his statement about Renee Good, and I was wrong. He made a lot of other statements that were just garbage throughout the week. And I'll be the first to admit, I was wrong. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt as being a decent person. Wrong or Rooney. Wrong or Rooney on me. I don't know what it is, like I said. I don't understand how a side could be sore losers and also sore winners. And that's what it seems like to me. There's a lot of nonsense going on. I long for just nothing. Anyone long for the sense of normalcy, which was just you never worried, you never had to tune on the news and see, oh my goodness, what other nonsense has someone else said? Everything happened so fast. And it's been happening this way with the Trump administration from day one of the first term, where you can't keep up with the nonsense. So you just tune out. There's three sets of people. There's the people who just try not to pay attention to anything and just keep on going with their lives. There's the side that complains about how crazy everything is and saying it's the end of days. And then there's the other side that says this is the greatest time on the face of the earth. That's You either fall into one of those three categories. I fall into the middle one where I just keep my head down and try not to pay attention, but it's getting harder and harder to not pay attention, especially considering the fact that I'm trying to work on a new special. And that requires me to look at the news, and I'm watching. Wasn't the big thing, I mean, just a second ago about Venezuela? Wasn't that the big thing? Venezuela is so far in the rearview mirror. There's zero news about Maduro. Zero news. That dude went from being president of Venezuela to being taken out of his bed and captured, brought here to being, oh, yeah, that dude. Is he still around? That's how quickly the news cycle happens in today's day and age. Nothing sits for more than a second and it is gone. Now Greenland is the new thing. We got to get Greenland. I think that's kind of tamped down for a little bit, but it'll be something else soon. Because if it's not Greenland, it'll be something else. Because remember, a while ago, it was Canada. It was, no, we need Canada. We got to have Canada. And now we need and the odd thing that Trump is saying the quiet parts out loud. That's a little weird. Because you didn't give me the Nobel Peace Prize, I'm going to have to take Greenland. That's a weird thing to say out loud, right? This is the new normal that I'll be honest, I don't want to get used to. I remember the days of one when the vice president never said anything. We had a vice president for years. The vice president never said anything, rarely did anything. You know what the vice president's job was? Show up at dignitary funerals that the president was like, I mean, yeah, they're important, but not, yeah, I can come up with an excuse not to go. Why don't you go? And they'd send the vice president. Now we got a vice president that is just as vocal as the president. Remember when the Ukrainian president showed up in the Oval Office and he was wearing what he normally wears and everybody attacked him and the vice president was busy chirping like, hey, why don't you have a suit? Like, why are you talking? What? I long for the days when the vice president did not talk. He didn't speak. No one deferred to the vice president. It's a very odd time that we are living in. Yeah, I will say about that Maduro thing, that may be the most gangster thing I've ever seen. Imagine that. You're the president of the country. Doesn't even get any higher than that. President of a country. And you go to bed as president of the country. And next thing you know, you're in a different country in handcuffs doing a perp walk. That may be the most gangster thing I've ever seen. And I think that maneuver may have scared the rest of the world in being compliant with whatever Trump wants. Because that may be the most gangster thing I have ever seen in my 60 years of being on this earth. He took a president out of bed and then made him do a perp walk. Wow. You'd have never thought in your wildest dreams, if you go to bed as president of a country, that would be on the list of things that you might be doing the next morning. But here we are. This is the crazy world we live in. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I've already spent a handful, 15 minutes. That's about enough. About you can't make sense of a Looney Tunes world unless it's literally Looney Tunes, and this is like the bizarro world of Looney Tunes. I watched. They had the another January 6th thing. That I think these January 6th things are going to go on forever. They had a January 6th things where the policemen who were assaulted were at the Capitol, and then a guy. I don't even know who he was. I don't know if it was a senator, a congressman, and said to the policeman that it wasn't the fault of the people that hurt them that they got hurt. It was the fault of the person who, I guess, who was in charge of security. That's a crazy line of logic to say, no, not the people who hit you. That was not their fault. It was the fault of the people not having enough security to prevent people from hitting you that they knew were going to hit you. That is a hand washing that I've not seen the likes of before. And it seems like everyone on that particular side seems very easy with it. They're very easy to make crazy logic out of things that other people would go, that doesn't make any sense. And they're like, oh no, it makes perfect sense. And we firmly believe it. So I don't know if lying is the new standard or being comfortable with lying is the new standard, which if you're a party of values, I don't know how you tell kids that what you're saying isn't a lie, but don't you lie. It is a lot of do as I say and not as I do, which kind of, that seems to be the new thing. Do as I say, not as I do. All right, fair enough. This is where we are now? Okay. We'll see how this goes until, the rules change again. You got to be able to put yourself in different positions. You got to be able to do it and look at it that way and say, if this were me, what would I do? You know what I realized recently? When I came back from my last trip in December, I'm at the airport waiting, and I realized that I should not be a cop. I would be the worst police officer on the face of the earth. There's no doubt in my mind. There's a lot of jobs I believe I could do. That is the one job I believe I should not do. And the reason that I came to this conclusion is because I watched people at LAX who were violating the loading zone policy of parking there and waiting for the people to come. It's not a waiting zone. It's a loading zone. That's the recording. Oh, the white zone is for loading and unloading of passengers only. There is no parking or waiting in the white zone. And I watched car after car pull up and just wait, which is screwing up the entire zone because other people have people that, they're coming to pick people up, but they're like, oh, they're not on their way. I watched a guy park his car, not even next to the curb, second car length over. So he's in the lane. Calmly get out of his car, leisurely walk into baggage claim. Leisurely walk into baggage claim like, I've got an appointment in baggage claim and this is my parking spot. There's not enough policemen there to move everybody because they have to keep walking down to keep. It's a game of whack-a-mole. You have to keep whacking stupid drivers that believe that they're entitled to, oh, this does not pertain to me. I get to park here. You don't, but I do, and this is what I do. So they got to keep moving. And that guy walked out. I'd say he was there for a good 10 minutes. He only started running and being hurried when he saw a policeman coming up, looking in his car to see no one's in the car. And then he runs up and gets in the car and runs off. Of course, drives off. Of course, he does not get a ticket. But he got, 10 minutes to do that. And he felt comfortable doing it. He didn't look around. He just felt like, this is what I do. It's how I roll. I'm Batman, and this is the parking spot in front of City Hall. All right, Batman. All right, Caped Crusader. And I watched person after person with that same type of attitude. I watched people argue with policemen. The guy said, hey, you got to move. And the guy's like, oh, come on. Because you've already been here for so much time. Just move. And the guy continued to argue. And it was in that moment right there when I realized, I can't be a cop. I can't. Because I've already told you. Matter of fact, I'm wearing the badge. I've got the whole garb on. And I've told you, my job is to enforce the law. I told you, you cannot be here. You have to move along. Why in the hell are you still talking to me? Why are you still trying to argue your side of how inconvenient? Move the hell along. Yeah, I would. You can't. You couldn't give me a gun and me having to argue with somebody when I've already told you that you are breaking the law. Yeah, I can't. I can't. My nerves aren't that great. They aren't. Here's my one time being any type of enforcement. In elementary school, I don't know if they still have it now, but the people who are listening now aren't young people. Young people don't listen to me. I'm the old man. You aren't listening. So the people who are listening, the 9 people who are listening to me are probably close to my age. So yes, all of us remember. In elementary school, we had a safety patrol. There was a select group of students that would get chosen to be part of the safety patrol. And their job was just to enforce the rules of the school that were already in place. No cutting in line in the cafeteria. You're just, in essence, back up to the teachers who were already out there, who were, the cops that were out there. Now, here's the thing about it. Everyone knew I was part of the safety patrol. That was my whole thing, is that, Lamont's on the safety patrol. Why else would I not be standing in line at lunch and just kind of patrolling the line here or patrolling the hallways? So, and I don't know if this is because I watched a lot of 70s detective shows as a kid, but I would never wear my badge. Never would wear my badge. Everyone else would always have their badge pinned onto them. Hey, safety patrol badge. I never wore my badge. I kept my badge in my pocket. I think I was like Beretta out there. So when I would walk up and go, hey, you can't cut in line. And then they would look at me and say, well, who are you? I'm like, come on. I'm a safety patrol. And they would say, well, where's your badge? I'm like, you already know I'm a safety patrol. Why would I need to show you the badge to let you know that I'm safety patrol? You know I'm safety patrol. I know I'm safety patrol. Everybody in this line knows I'm safety patrol. What does the badge have to do? You already know you did something wrong. And every so often, someone would challenge me and go, well, I need to see that. And I just show them the badge, and then they would go back in line where they were supposed to be. But it was just a handful of people that would need to see the badge, even though knowing I was already part of the safety patrol. I don't know if they thought that I got suspended by the captain because I went rogue, but that was always so. I mean, there were 2 funny aspects of it. 1, I wouldn't wear the badge. 2, they'd ask to see the badge. Man, I'm undercover out here. I can't be just flashing the badge out here. You're going to blow my whole cover? Come on now. That that was me in elementary school. The good student that was trying to do good things, but I had no space for that badge. No room for me to be flashing that badge. All right. I'm going to try and not keep you too long on this particular episode. We'll see how we're going. We've already gone through the main thing about me talking about how I was wrong last episode, and we've already covered pickleball. That's a lot. It's a lot, and we're under 30 minutes in right now. I do have another couple of things that have been bothering me. One, like I told you, that I've always wondered about, when does the aging thing happen on the body, and now I'm very well convinced that it is 60 years old. That is when it does happen. Yeah, I believe that 60 is the number where things just start falling apart, and you can't duct tape enough things together to get back to a sense of, hey, this is what it used to be before I was 60. I have old man fears. Just two old man fears. One, unruly eyebrows. That's a big fear I have as I get older, is unruly. You've seen them. Old people, old men. It's old men where their eyebrows just don't fall in line. They just start curling and poking. They just start forming their own afro all on their own. Like right now, my eyebrows are decent. What was the old phrase? On fleek. You know what? I never knew what that meant when they said it, and I'm pretty sure no one says it now. But it's the best thing that I could come up with to describe what I'm talking about. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. They go in the pattern. There's no strays. No, I don't have eyebrow afros. Every so often you get one. You get one hair that's like, hey, I'm going out on my own. You're like, no. You're out. You're out. So that is my big fear. Whenever I get on a ship, they take a picture of you to match. Sometimes they'll do facial recognition to get on and off the ship anytime you scan your room card. So I will take that picture. They go, we got to take a picture. And that's the first thing I do. I go, hang on a second. I got to make sure that I don't have old man eyebrows. I don't need those eyebrow afros going on here where it looks like all you do all day long is solve quadratic mathematical equations. So I get that taken care of. The other fear, it's funny that it's top and bottom, is old man feet. Now, I don't know. It could just be man feet. It could not just be old man feet, but I don't know what age that men just don't give a damn about their feet. It might be age any for any man, because there are times where I get on an elevator on a ship and I see men in open-toed shoes, no socks, and you're like, oh, what are those? You know, that all, what are those? Their feet, what are you doing? Have you ever, and it's not even about doing a pedicure, because I've never gone in for a pedicure, but I do kind of maintain my feet and toenails to their not talons. Oh my God. Seriously. Have you seen men's feet? What are they doing? It's gross. And they don't care. They'll go and show them in public and not give a damn. Just walk onto an elevator, open-toed shoes, no socks, and just be like, here they are, you deal with them. There's a bruised toe for whatever reason. If you have a bruised toe, you should never be wearing no covering on your feet. Wait till that heals. The rest of us don't need to see that. So that's my fear is old man, bushy afro eyebrows and old man talon toes. Those are my two fears of aging. Nothing else, just those two things. The other beef I have before I start just a commercial is customer service. And this has been a long time. If you know me, you know I have had beef with customer service for close to 30 years. 30 years I've been complaining that this has been declining to this point. And I don't know where the bottom is. That seems to be the problem. I have no idea where the bottom is, but it's just horrific. So I purchased some things online, 4 items. They came in, well, let's put it this way. They're 4 separate, there was one order that had 4 items, but they had broken it down into that each item was going to get its own different shipment. So in essence, 4 shipments. 3 of the items showed up various times. No problem with them. They just were here, and I'd receive an email from the company that says this item was delivered, and it give you the description of what the item is and a picture. And I'd be like, all right, well, I haven't seen the 4th item. And I'm like, where's that 4th item? When is that coming? So I go back and check the tracking for their site, and they claim that the 4th item was delivered on the same day as the 2nd item. And I then contact them and say, hey, by the way, this item was not delivered. It says it was delivered, but I've not received it. Now, this is a Chinese company. What is Shein? Is that how you pronounce it? I'm saying the name of the company because they're pieces of shit. They then send their customer service person, which is a formulaic type of response that's connected to a person that says, oh, we're very sorry that you did not receive it. We understand how frustrating that could be. Could you send proof that you didn't receive it? I'm sorry, what? Could I send proof that I did? What am I going to send? A picture of my empty hands? I'm sending proof that I did not receive it. They want a screenshot of the video security camera that says on the time that they claim they delivered it. Well, you didn't deliver it. We want to know whether it was sent to the wrong address. How would I know that? You sent 3 items to the correct address. The 4th item was never sent. I don't care what your system says. But as I said, every time you delivered an item, I received an email notification that says this item was delivered. That 4th item that I was waiting on never received an email notification saying it was delivered. That's really all the proof you need. And I said, could you check the list of emails? Because every time I receive a delivery notification email, you won't find that delivery notification email for that item because it was never delivered. I got a response back. Oh, wow, we are sorry, and we know this is very frustrating, but according to our records, it was delivered. So therefore, we're going to mark it as being delivered. Maybe you should check under a plant or check with a neighbor. Could be just hidden off to the side. You delivered 3 items. You put them in the same spot every single trip. But the 4th one became an Easter egg hunt? Or you didn't deliver it. Not only that, what makes more sense? I ordered 4 items. I received 3 and never complained about any of the 3 I received. I'm trying to get over on the 4th item? Or is it more feasible that someone on your end made a clerical error. Which one do you think it is? So now I'm in this battle, which I think the battle's over because I was pretty much summarily dismissed as, well, thank you. We'll take your money and good luck on the hunt. This is part of the problem. Now, I get it. This is like earlier when I talked about saying I think that God's design of a human being was wrong. And then I immediately went, no, maybe it's not God's design. Maybe it's user error. This is a problem on both sides. There used to be an adage that the customer was always right. No matter what, the customer was always right. Rule number 1, customer's always right. Rule number 2, see rule number 1. That's what it was. Then the customer started realizing that the customer was always right. And then a lot of customers just abused that privilege. They abused it to death. Hey, they're not going to say anything to me, even though I know I'm lying. I did receive it, but I want my money back. There, I got it for free because the customer's always right. This is what happened. The customer abused the whole benefit of the doubt thing. And eventually, the businesses started saying, man, fuck that customer. Because so many people abused it. So the customer is no longer always right because the customer abused that privilege of being right. So now when the customer is right, hey, too bad, so sad. Should have thought about that before your compatriots screwed this whole thing up. So this is what has happened now. So I'm out, whatever it is, $73, because jackasses abuse the system. And now there is no customer service. But even though I gave a legitimate, I'm not just saying, hey, by the way, I got no proof. Go back in your system and take a look. Go back in your system and see when it was delivered, when you notified me that it was delivered. How odd is it that you sent 3 different emails for 3 different things saying they were delivered, and the one thing that I didn't receive, you never sent an email out for? That at least alone should raise some red flags. But not with this company. Hey, the hell with you, man. We're in China. We don't have time for this. So my options are I just get mad that I spent $73 for nothing, or I have to say nice things about Trump and he might be able to get it done. I will say that is the thing. That is a good thing and a bad thing, because you know that's always on the table. You want to get something done? Maybe I'll just cozy up to Trump, say a bunch of nice things, say, hey, I've seen the error of my ways, and say nice things. And he might do stuff for just a regular person. It's weird and it's probably not right, but it's odd that I know that is an option in life. What do you think Nicki Minaj is doing? Come on now. But the customer service thing is it's over. It's over. They don't care. And that has something to do with us. I used to talk about this where I said that the thing about, how people who work in customer service they're in a bad mood. Like when you get a good customer service person that understands that what their job is, those are few and far between. There's other people that get mad. I know people that go, I didn't take this job to get yelled at all day. Yeah, you did. That's the job. No one calls up a customer service number because they want to report good news about their day. Hey, sun is shining, the birds are singing. I just want to let you know I saw a rainbow today. Enjoy yourself, Connie. No. They're calling customer service at a level of anger because somewhere down the line, your company fucked up. Yeah, it's a bomb situation. When they call customer service, you're diffusing bombs all day long. When they call, you have to decide red or blue wire. Which one am I cutting to defuse the countdown, to stop the countdown on this bomb? That's what customer service is. So this idea that, oh, this is not what I signed up for, it is exactly what you signed up for. The hell are you talking about? All right. I think I may be losing steam. I think we got a good solid 40 some odd minutes of podcast in here for you. Something for your listening pleasure. I don't think it was too divisive like last week. I think it was just the right amount of cranky. So if we go down to 8 listeners, then so be it. But I think 9 listeners should be happy with this level and some of the new people as well. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. And if you are new to the podcast, I don't know why you started with this episode. You really should start with an earlier episode so to see what it is that I'm talking about. Because this may be a little much for you. I ease you into me. I'm not for everybody. I'm an acquired taste is what I am. All right, I've got some news and some plugs. Here we go. I've got appearances. I still have a month left before I get to return to a ship, and I will tell you the truth. I am still not excited to return to the ship, which is fine. Hopefully, at some point, that will change within a month. We'll see, but I still have a month. In the meantime, I will still be popping into clubs, working on the new hour for the new tour. Which, by the way, I told you the last week. I think I'm kind of getting used to the tour being called Have You Seen People? I think it's kind of growing on me. So last week I stopped into Flappers to do some spots. Next week I will probably also stop into Flappers to do spots. There may be a chance I'll do the Bellflower Comedy Club. I have to call them to see what's going on over there. But I also have some dates on shows where I'll be that you can attend that aren't me working out. Friday, January 30th, San Marcos at the Borneman Theater. Again, I don't know if it's Borneman or Borneman. I'm going to say Borneman. At the Borneman Theater in San Marcos, 7 p.m. I will be there on that show. It's the Borneman Theater, 7 p.m., Friday, January 30th. So come on out. North County of San Diego, and whoever it is that can reach that, maybe Escondido, and all points on over. Come on out. There's tickets available. Go ahead and go ahead to my website, lamontferguson.com. There'll be a link there for tickets, so you can do that. January 30th, Friday, 7 p.m., Boardman Theater. On Wednesday, February 11th, I will be back in Arizona at Peoria, Arizona. Also on Friday the 13th, I will be in Valencia. And Valentine's Day, Saturday the 14th, February, I will be in Thousand Oaks. On Friday, February 20th, I will be in Vista, California. All of these dates and the particulars can be found on my website, lamontferguson.com. So you have those list of dates, you see what's going on, and on the 22nd, I'm back on a ship. In the meantime, I'll be just trying to fight this knee thing, trying to get back to something on the pickleball court. Oh, by the way, something I should have put this at the front end with pickleball. There's a tournament every weekend, or just about every weekend there's a tournament. Right now it's in Minneapolis, I believe, or Minnesota, somewhere in Minnesota. And it is the World Indoor Championships. The number 2 pickleball player, male pickleball player in the world, Federico Staxrud, he lost in the round of 16 to a 14-year-old kid. His name is Camden. I don't remember his last name. But that doesn't help the fact of stating that pickleball is an actual sport, because a 14-year-old boy beat the number 2 pickleball player in the world. A grown man beat him. Beat him. When I was 14 years old, I was pretty good at a lot of sports. But at no point in time would I have been able to compete with the number 2 player of any of those particular sports. And that does not bode well for pickleball being labeled a legitimate sport if a 14-year-old boy could beat the number 2 player in the world. That's all I'm saying. I still love pickleball, but that's a little troubling. I said it used to be an old people's sport. Now all the young kids are coming in and doing a whole bunch of young kids things, and all right, yep, we get it. So in the meantime, I will be battling 14-year-olds. I played a kid once that was 12, and he would have destroyed me had I been playing legitimately. He was 12. He goes, "Hey, mister," I was in Arizona. He goes, "Hey, do you want to play singles?" First of all, I don't know if you've seen singles pickleball. It is the most exhausting thing you'll ever look at, because you're covering all the court just by yourself. That's why I only play doubles, because I'm only covering half the court. But you're covering it all by yourself. And this kid was phenomenal. I took pride in the fact that I scored 5 points. It was 11-5. I took pride in that. He looked bored out of his head. But I was so happy that I got 5 points off of this 12-year-old kid. That's, like I said, doesn't bode well for pickleball being a legitimate sport. I still love it. I'm still all in. But, come on now. You can find all things pickleball and stuff like that for me at the Pickleball Comedian. Pickleball Comedian on any of your social media platforms. It's on the YouTube. It's on the Instagram, the Facebook. Pickleball Comedian. Look for me there. Find my information at lamontferguson.com. I've given you the dates. Let you know what's going on. I also got a new email. Remember I used to give the email and then I lost access to the email? If you want to email the show, oldmanisright60. oldmanisright60 at gmail.com. There. Got that in. I greatly appreciate the 9 listeners that tune in every time I drop a new podcast. Greatly appreciate you. All right. I gave you a little bit of stuff today, a little potpourri of things that are going on. And I admitted that I was wrong. Right off the bat, admitted that I was wrong about what I was trying to do last time. I talked about Maduro. Venezuela used to be something, and then bam, it was gone. I talked about how I know for a fact I'd be a horrible cop. I talked about the idea that maybe the design of the human body is not God's fault, and it's a user error. And I also told you about customer service, how that is gone. That is the way of the dodo. There's a lot of things I talked about. Some of them I could be wrong. I might come back next week and tell you, look, I was wrong about this again. I'm not afraid to be wrong. But you know the deal. Sometimes the old man is right. I'll see you next time.